Thank you for being with us in the 24/7 grind on another dope segment, Hours with the Elders, where we bridge the gap of information, experience, and wisdom, dropping gems and jewels for those who are committed to making a difference in their communities.
Greetings and welcome to another dope segment of Hour with the Elders. Miss Dorothy Harris, Mr. OG Los, and none other than Peanut the General, and myself, Miss Reggie, and our special guest, Miss Patricia Tyus. Did I say that right? Tyus?
Yes.
Miss Patricia Tyus. Well,
Yes,
she's
ma'am.
going to tell us about her story, and it is one that will open our heart. So, Miss Patricia, thank you so much for allowing us to peek into your life at this point. So, if you would like to just tell us about you.
Hi, I'm a mother of four children, and on last year, my oldest child, which is 23 years old, on the early morning hours of Thanksgiving morning, he was catfished by a Selma police technician. This man was not a police officer from allegedly he didn't pass the qualifications to be a police officer, so he was a police technician. But on the early morning hours of Thanksgiving
Miss
morning,
P, Miss P, can can you explain the difference?
a police technician is the person that collects the evidence at the crime scene, is what I've been told.
Yeah, they're evidence technicians. That's what they call them.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Miss P.
On the early morning hours, that police technician inboxed my son from a fake profile and invited him out to a outing where he thought there were going to be women and men there, but when he got there, it was only homosexual men there. He asked to be taken home. They drove past his house, not even a mile from his house on the side of the highway is where they attacked my son. One of those men was shot and killed. The police are hiding the fact that another homosexual man was there. Um, after that man, after the situation of him being attacked on the highway, the police were called. The police arrived on the scene where they beat my son so severely that he couldn't even walk in the hospital. They had to call an ambulance for him to be transported from the scene. Um, those same police officers threatened to kill him if he didn't make a confession and or said anything about who did anything to him. Um, he had that happened on November the 22nd. On November the 24th or the 25th is where they had a bond hearing for my son, which he was out. They was already said there was going to be no bond because they charged him with capital murder. Um, his next court date was supposed to be January the 22nd. They did not bring him to court then. They gave him another court date for March, which they still did not bring him to court. Then they reset it to May, which I was in court all 3 times, and for this third time, for when he did when on for the court date in May, they did not bring him to court. When his court appointed lawyer got up there and they called his name, and um they was like, the judge said, well, they didn't bring him. And then um the judge also told his court appointed lawyer that the police officers and sheriff from this city do not want to deal with him on bringing him to court, which is their job. So the lawyer said, I didn't know it was a problem with transportation. So I'll make sure I get that done next time, is what the lawyer said. So the judge did tell someone to go get him and bring him to court in May, which he Sussman had court at 10 when they didn't bring him. And the judge finally sent someone to bring him in May. And he made his plea as not guilty. And they took him back to jail just for like 5 minutes. And now I'm waiting on his next court date.
Explain, explain what do you mean about catfish when you said he was catfish to us?
This police technician had a fake profile, a girl profile, which he used to act like he was a woman to lure men places. Allegedly, this wasn't his first time doing this. With my first interview with Peanut, I did send him some screenshots of other people's messages that he sent young boys from the age of 20 to 25. He was in their inboxes late night hours asking them to meet up and hey yo, West, sending money signs, which is all unethical for a police officer or a police technician.
What is your son being
Wasn't
charged
he,
with?
hadn't he been recently suspended previously for an
Yes,
incident with a female?
yes. Allegedly, that's what I was told. He was suspended in October of 2023 for misconduct of some kind.
And what is your son being charged with?
Capital murder and robbery. Which
But that
this man was missing no items. My son did not run from the scene because he felt like he did nothing wrong. So how y'all get him on a a robbery charge added to that when this man was missing none of his belongings?
Why aren't they looking for the second individual that they claim was there? Didn't they say it was two people in the robbery?
Yes, and obviously he's a friend of theirs. Also, he got to be a friend of theirs if they're trying to keep it like my son was the only person there. They
Hmm.
picked my son when they got to the crime scene because they were friends of this police technician. So the other man and that police technician, who was, I would say, predators, had to be friends. And they're
What are
friends of
these?
other predator police officers that we still have on the force that are homosexual, that have wives and cheating on their wives with homosexual men. And right now in Alabama, especially Selma Montgomery, the AIDS and HIV is on the rise because of these homosexual men.
What are they saying about this fake Snapchat account?
They're not saying anything about that. To go into detail, I wrote the Selma police chief, the mayor. I wrote about 20 letters out. Um, I had my phone number, address on those letters. When I wrote to the chief of police, he did not give me a call back or anything. I didn't even write me back. But when they had court in May, you were in court sitting with the family.
have you tried to reach out to the NAACP?
No, ma'am.
I think you should try stuff like that. The
Yeah,
NAACP,
me too.
Nancy Grace, Reverend Al Sharpton. I think you should let this be publicly known.
And they may be able to help you get a better lawyer. Because last I heard, your son was using a public defender.
Yes.
That's
I
just
wouldn't even
what
trust that
I
because
what
he
I
probably
don't I
working with
don't
them.
trust I don't trust him at all.
right.
Um, let me ask something, right? Why didn't the why, if you know, right? Why didn't, when it was proven that they didn't want to bring him to court on their own, that is a direct violation of his rights.
Yes,
Why didn't the lawyer file for the trial to be a mistrial?
he he hasn't done anything. He also said he couldn't talk to me about the case until he had consent from my son. My son wrote this same lawyer and gave written consent to him. The lawyer has gotten a letter and he still has failed to communicate with me about what's going on with the case. The last time I talked to him was in May when we was in court, and he said that the defense have not gave him any evidence against my son.
That's why they keep pushing this court date back, because they don't have nothing on them, so they just trying to
To, at,
yeah,
at the
they trying
at
to get some evidence on them. So
What
where
evidence? I don't understand what evidence he could possibly have when,
exactly.
from what information I gathered, he was in the vehicle with these men who work for the Selma Police Department. So, what evidence other than the fake Snapchat account that you used to bait him there would he have against you as police officers that you were gonna bring to the table anyway?
also um where this attack took place, where this man lost his life, there's a camera right there.
Hmm.
It's a business right, not it's a business right about 15 feet from where this happened. So everything that they have is not supporting what they're charging my son with, because the camera was right there and it should have everything on camera. Those men attacking my son before one of them got killed.
Did they have did they have the tape from the camera?
They're not letting. Then I asked the lawyer. He's saying they haven't presented him with it. So when I went to
your lawyer need to go to the
Right.
business and ask
The
them for
lawyer
the
need to
tape,
go to the
because
place and
then that
subpoena
tape
for
will
the
be
tape.
subpoenaed. That
he
tape will be
She need
subpoenaed.
a own lawyer, not a state lawyer.
he's not, the court appointed lawyer is not doing anything for real.
Y'all, that's your your case is not being um
Handled properly.
represented to the best of the state's ability. That is a direct threat on your son's freedom. Do you do you did you ask your lawyer, could they move this trial to another city or another setting, because there's no way that you can get a proper
A
trial
fair
where you are.
trial, yeah.
Yes, sir, Peanut. I did. I when I went to see this lawyer, which he's an hour away from where I stay. I'm in Selma. He's in Montgomery. When I went there, I gave him a list of things that we wanted looked into, and first of them was a change of venue, because the judge was friends with this man. The police officers, all of these men went to parties at the St. James Hotel right at the foot of the bridge. These men partied and had fun together, so of course they're going to be friends. They're going to take up for each other. So then I asked, that was the first thing I asked for him to do. And the second thing I told him, I said, this man was a predator. All the evidence that you need for my son to be free is in that man's phone, because not only did he prey on my son, he preyed on other people's son. There should have been a video in his phone of a homosexual police party.
So, Miss
It's
Patricia,
Your
may
son
I
didn't
ask,
population.
prove that.
may I, may I ask, does when, as far as my understanding, when the district attorney, well, when the police first arrest somebody, they set the charges. So in in your son's case, it was capital murder. But what does the DA, has it gone to the DA, and what is the DA doing
The
about
DA is
lessening the charges?
the DA is friends with this man also. I wrote him a letter before I knew he was friends with this homosexual predator. I wrote him a letter also. And if I had known that he was friends with the man that died, I wouldn't have even wasted my time.
Do you feel
He
like
he
you and
got
your
on.
other kids' lives are in jeopardy?
I would have if he would have been jailed in Selma, but he's not jailed in Selma. And these folks, they don't have connections in Montgomery. They got their little cliques down here or whatever. So I felt like my son was safer up there.
Let me ask
Um,
you this. Has there ever been any type of interaction other than this Snapchat account between this guy and your son? Because it sounds like he targeted your son to me.
Not to my knowledge, not to my knowledge, but the lawyer saying now that my son did give written consent, I am going back to check with him on next week to see if they have even still, because his next court date is in September. So I'm
It
gonna go see the court appointed lawyer next week to see if they have even sent him any kind of evidence.
it feels targeted. Feel like your son was targeted.
He wasn't the only one, but he wasn't the only one. And somebody sent a message to me saying that he targeted other people, or well, these group of men targeted other young men. And all of those messages that I received, I cropped the people name out that sent them to me, but I did post them to add proof to my story because people had different opinions. But what I said, I wanted to back up, and many people have inboxed me, young boys, saying that he tried to get me out here, talking about he had some joints for sale. He tried different approaches to get these men alone.
What about this female? What charges did she bring against him?
um Unlawful arrest, and and something else. And that young lady, her father was a police officer in Selma Police Department, and he resigned because of the unlawful activities that people weren't getting punished right.
How is he making arrests as an evidence tech? He's not an officer.
Exactly. He had no business arresting her. This was one of her statements against him.
This is wow.
Yes.
How is your son? How is his spirits? How is he mentally? How is your son?
He's doing much better now. The At first he was having a hard time. He had to see a psychiatrist or some kind of medical advisor that they had at the jail, because during his first week or two he was having a hard time.
How
Do
are
they
you?
allow you to see your son so you can ensure his safety?
Only on video calls. They have not lifted the COVID restrictions from this jail yet, I guess. And I guess now that COVID back on the rise, they probably still just doing video calls. But I have video called him.
How are you?
I'm doing much better now.
You feeling better?
Yes, much better.
Yes. All right. So, is it any way that you can switch your public defender for feeling that he can't adequately defend his case?
Not to my knowledge. Um, they told me that I could not switch lawyers, but I could write a
Wait. They told you you couldn't
Wait,
switch
wait,
lawyers.
wait. What they mean you can't switch lawyers? That's at your
You can't.
discretion.
That they can't tell you that.
They
That's your
can't
well.
tell you you
They
can't
can't. They
switch
can't
lawyers.
tell your son that. Your son is this case. They can't tell him he can't switch lawyers.
Sure can't.
I was told that I could only write a um a complaint on the lawyer, and
Right. Your son would have to.
make a bar complaint, against the
Your son
lawyer.
can request a new lawyer
Yeah.
mid-trial if he wanted to.
Yeah. You can't because you're not on trial, but your son can. And this just my opinion, right? But from being on trial and everything that he's not adequately because he's supposed to go out to those places.
Right.
He's supposed to meet with the people. He's supposed to go and get his own evidence to defend your son. He's not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So your son, this is a serious charge, which I know you know. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's working against each other. Do you have proof that these people party together, went to school together, and all that? Because that's a conflict of interest, which is a technicality,
Big
which
time.
When I went and talked to the lawyer, and my very first time I went to talk to the lawyer was in January. And when I went to that meeting, I took him a screenshot of the district attorney's Facebook post saying that this man was hope for the community and he will be truly missed. If this was your friend like this, why are you trying to prosecute the person that was accused of killing your friend?
Right. Conflict of
that's the
interest.
Revenge
conflict of
tactic.
interest.
Conflict of interest.
Um,
That was the one of the other things that I brought to the lawyer. I took
that's
a
a revenge
screenshot.
tactic.
I went to the library and made a printout copy so that I wouldn't have to just send it to his phone. I gave him a paper copy of the district attorney Robert Turner's Facebook post.
I would suggest contacting the NAACP and asking them how they can guide and assist you in finding a more suitable lawyer to take your son's case because if
Not
not if not based on what you said thus far, all of them are in cahoots to railroad your son.
I agree.
not just that. Reach out to Reverend Al Sharpton and Nancy Grace. You know, I mean, a lawyer. He should have an investigator on. They should have pulled that camera from the very beginning. You know, it's stuff that he's not doing, and he representing the state, so he's not worried about your son. You know, that's your
Nope.
life. That's your child, and it need exposure.
'Cause all of them work together.
Right.
Public attorneys,
Uh-huh.
lawyers, DAs, judges, they all work together.
So, Miss Patricia, tell us more about your son. When he was born, what type of student, what was his hobbies, likes, dislikes. Tell us about your son. Is it Cordell?
Yes, his name is Cordell. He was born in 2001. He graduated high school, which is not too many young men still graduating high school. He graduated in 2020, and he's lived with them all his life. But his very first job was at a grocery store, our local grocery store. And since then, he's had about 10 other jobs, from welding jobs to jobs out of this city. So he's never had to rob anybody for any reason because his mother worked hard and she taught him how to work hard. So with him having he did go to a couple welding classes at Wallace at once, but I guess he figured that he didn't the school thing wasn't what he wanted to do, but he's had several jobs making from $7 to $24 an hour. So he had no reason to be out here trying to take anything from anyone. He's never been suspended from high school. He's never been arrested. The only thing that was on his record prior to this event was a traffic ticket. He's not gang affiliated. He's just a good kid all around.
So let me ask you,
And
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
okay, and um, I don't no, I want to say this the right way. I don't I support everybody's choices. So if you're homosexual or whatever type you choose, that's your choice, and I respect that. I don't agree with it, but my children know I'm okay with it. If it had been my choice to be a homosexual, I would have been okay with it. My daughter has two homosexual best friends, and they're at my house often. So I've never treated them differently because of their choices. Your choice is what I believe. And if my son had been homosexual, I would have known because he wouldn't have to hide that from me. I'm not that mother to say no. You're not my son. I don't want to do anything, have anything to do with you. That's not me. I would have loved my son no matter what his choice was.
If you could, right? Could you? What evidence did they have to charge him with capital murder, other than word of mouth?
I had to um it's really no evidence to say that they had to charge him with capital murder. They charged him with capital murder because he carries a life sentence. They trying to take his whole rest of his life away from him. That's why they did that. They had no evidence to charge him with capital murder.
I
Um, oh, go ahead, go
How
ahead.
did they even? I mean, how did they even know he pulled the trigger? Just based. Where's the evidence? Did
From
they
what the
do a
lawyer,
GSR test? Did they do a GSR test and find gun
they
residue on him? Was his fingerprints on the gun?
the lawyer hasn't told me any of that. They charged with him with capital murder in 10 hours. So how did you complete that story
Exactly.
in 5 hours if you had to get all that done?
I
You made this whole story up real quick and put it out there locally real quick to try to rush things through and try to cover everything up.
Well, from just my little bit of knowledge, a lot of they charge, is particularly African Americans, with the capital murder, so they won't get bond.
Hmm.
So it's not so they can't come up
Exactly.
with
Exactly.
bond, so they can't get out.
And then the media put it out there early so they could have advantage over the narrative. They wanted to put a
Exactly.
certain narrative about your son out there, so that's why they put it out there early, because it's going to be hard to change how the public looks at your son now.
Yes, and a lot of people said that the first thing, because Selma is a small community, the first thing a lot of people said, well, if he a police technician, why he out at 2 a.m. in the morning, Ryan?
Right? Well, why?
Like,
Not only that, I mean, if you're an officer, you want to be out at 2 a.m. That's your business. But why are you out with a young man in his 20s who's not on the force?
I see.
That would be my question. What do you have in common with this young man? He's not a police officer. What you riding with him at 2 a.m. in the morning for?
Does the
And
state
that don't
have?
even sound right.
I
Does the
seen on a
state?
video where they said about the person who was dead called 911 right before he was killed. Did your
I,
lawyer try to retrieve that call audio?
he's not doing anything, and that was another
Oh
thing.
no.
You're, as we continue this conversation, you're reminding me of things that I told the lawyer, and I told him, I said I don't think it was him that made the 911 call. I think it was the other man that was there.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been shot a few times, how you making a
Right,
911
How you
call?
making a
You're not gonna
911
be able to
call?
right.
talk, make no complete sentence. If you've been shot, I don't believe that you're gonna be able to call 911 and make a complete sentence.
Right.
Um, Ooh,
Yeah. I got because
Yeah,
that
it's a lot of
it's
conspiracy.
this wow, this pissing
Right.
me off on like
Right.
okay, so the what the state um does the state have any I forgot what I was about to ask you. Are you taking this to trial? Is your son taking this to trial?
Yes, he's so far. He's only thing we've done in court is he just made his plea in May. I don't know what's gonna happen in the next court date, but I'm gonna check with the lawyer next week and see what he's planning on doing or saying. But he did make his plea as not guilty. It's as far as we've made it, and it's almost been a year.
Did
You
you talk
said
to
something on a
did you
previous
talk to him about
podcast
that
that really
talk that we had to talk about?
go ahead, Ned. I'm sorry. I think both of us was trying to say something.
Did you talk to him about what we talked about, Miss P?
I need you to be a little bit more specific.
He might have to take some time, even though he didn't do it, because he cannot get a
Yes,
sense. Did you talk to him?
yes, yes.
What
He
did he say?
he 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 accepted that when you told me that he did you know realize that, but he was okay with that, but I wasn't.
I'm sure all the OGs telling him that in there, like you
Yeah,
might have to, and that's why they charged him like that, because of course, they gonna have to break it down, but with them breaking the charge down comes with you have to take charge. You see what I'm saying? So they may break it down from life to like 10 years or something like that. Are you mentally prepared for that?
no, wait, no, 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 no. I like I just said, he's accepted that, but I haven't.
Have you ever tried to get to the bottom of who's reporting your GoFundMe? I mean,
I I
you said
did.
they done that. You said it was reported twice, and that kind of made me think. Do you think that they have something to do with that? Because
Mhm.
that's the first thing that came to my mind. They had to have something to do with that because they don't want to see you get a,
Mhm.
a, a,
Yes.
an attorney who's apt to cover this case for you.
Yes,
I,
I agree. Either the police officer friends or some of the family, but I've blocked as many of them as I can. As soon as I see that they've got one of those shields in their profile picture or anything connected to this man, I go ahead and block him. If you're friends with this man, I go ahead and block. Y'all have time. It was two women that got on my post and said some ugly things. I went ahead and blocked them. I screenshotted them also. But yeah, they got people watching my page, but I'm not gonna stop talking. But they know not to say anything else.
are you gonna try to start another one?
I haven't tried to. It hasn't crossed my mind again. I just
That's why they keep doing that, so you don't let them win. Don't let them win. Every time they take it down, put another one up.
They bullies.
Have so have the feds threatened to pick this case up?
no.
Then they
I
don't have they don't have no evidence. Because this is a federal. This to me, in my opinion, sounds like a federal case, right? And if they had what they needed, then the feds will pick this up. If the feds not gonna pick this, they don't have nothing. That's why they keep pushing your son's time back. Has he feel has he exercised his right to a speedy trial?
I told that to the judge on the second court date. On the second court date, which was in March, and they didn't bring him to court. I sat in court till everybody left the courtroom. And I spoke to the judge. I said, I'm here for Cordell Tyus. Why they didn't bring him again? And he said to me that um well I want to say it right.
Don't say what he told you, right? But did he did he make did he make a settlement to they didn't want to bring him down here because they didn't like his charge?
Yes, he specifically, no, he didn't say why, but he said specifically that they don't want to deal with him in the courtroom. But I do want to say a little bit of what he said. I don't want to lie on this man, but I did say why they didn't bring him to court. He said, well, he got folks in front of him, but you gave him this court date. Then so he said the next court date will be in September. I said, well, why so far along? He got a right to a speedy trial. He said, I said, what are you doing? You trying to give them time to make up evidence against my son? He
That's
said
exactly
no.
what they're doing.
He said no, but we got to consider all the parties involved.
Well, why did you set a court date then?
That's what he told me, and
Did they have him on the
that don't
docket
make
when you
no
got?
sense. It don't make no sense at all. You got to consider what parties involved.
They had him on the docket when you got there.
Yes.
Yeah, she said the court date had been
That
set in
never
advance.
the severity of the case gets seniority. From this being the capital murder trial, it's no way. It's no way they didn't
Right.
have that they had people in front of him for a capital murder trial of a
Not
police
for no capital
officer.
murder
Just be honest.
trial.
Ain't no
Um,
way. Ain't no way. So have you have you
I'm just fishing now because this
go
don't
ahead, go
sound.
ahead.
Have you tried to contact like maybe putting your story out there like TMZ for it to go national for people to see
I
what's really going on
I
That's
have
what I'm
with
saying. Get
inbox.
yourself?
more exposure.
I have inboxed several people, emailed, and most of the bigger platforms they have automated messages that reply to you, and then you still don't hear nothing back, even after you text back and say a couple of other words. Um, Nobody from a big platform has reached out back to me.
Wow.
Have you because you can't do it, right? But have you told your son to tell his lawyer to file for a mistrial?
No, I haven't.
You need to tell Cornell to uh, tell his representation to file for a mistrial. Because if you can prove that all of these people know each other and have friendships with each other, that's a conflict of interest, which is a technicality. If you can prove that they didn't even want to bring him up and then they just told you that he has people in front of him, that's a conflict of interest and there's a technicality. He should be. I don't see why you like. If I know this and I'm a criminal, then I don't see how your lawyer don't know this, and he's a lawyer. He does
That
know this, and he didn't advise you of this.
exactly. That's why I don't trust him.
He looking for a promotion. He working with
He
them
looking
people.
for a conviction. Long as he get a conviction, he's
Yep.
still
Long
free.
as he get a
Even if he
conviction, he can get promoted to the next level.
Let me
He
even
don't
if
care
he
about
get
your
time
son
cut, he
case.
still got a conviction, and that's
Yep.
all.
He don't care about your son case.
No, he don't.
You need to tell
let me
your son
let
get
me
rid
ask
of
you
this
this:
dude immediately.
is your lawyer this or this?
That
This
no,
this?
yes.
Oh yeah, tell him get rid of him immediately.
You get he
86
gotta
that.
go. He gotta go.
Tell your son 86 that boy. Find somebody else.
He, how long has this been going on? Because I know it's been. I interviewed you in before Christmas, right?
Yes, this happened on November the 22nd, 2023.
How has your life changed personally since this has happened?
Uh, it went from really bad to I'm better now.
And
It
what
was
about your other children?
um my girls, he has two sisters, and they're okay, and um my youngest son, I think it bothers him more because they used to share a room. So he's like to be gone a lot now. So I think it bothers him a little more. Still
Are there
Um,
bothers
any
him. Still
witnesses to
bothers
this?
him.
Are there any witnesses to this?
Um, from what I've heard on Street Talk, it was somebody that passed by during that time of the morning, and they said that when they saw my son in handcuffs, he wasn't even fully dressed.
Wow.
Do they have body cameras on?
Um, when I wrote the letter to the people that I wrote the letter to, and I'm gonna send you a copy of that when we get done with this peanut. Um, when I wrote this letter, to them, I said, well, if everything that they're saying is true, where
Where's
did
the
body
body
camera
cam
footage?
evidence?
I said the things that these officers did upon arriving to the scene was atrocious, and the body camera footage need to be given to the public. Is what I told the chief of police.
What'd he say?
Like I told you, he didn't call me back. He didn't write me back. He didn't say anything. But he was in court with the other family in May, sitting with them.
I bet you they turned them cameras off. The cameras probably weren't even on, which is illegal.
That's what I'm saying. That this is a conflict of interest. What's wrong with the lawyer? So okay,
The lawyer
um,
don't care. Ain't nothing wrong with him.
when is the next court date?
September the 10th.
I don't even know what to say, man.
Yeah,
It-
it's this like open and shut. I don't even see like so he had because of his charge, he has no bond, right? Did you file a motion to get his charge broken down?
The lawyer isn't doing anything. I've reached out to other lawyers and tried to get some help, but mostly everybody told me they need $10,000 to even just take the case.
Not even all of that, though, Nick. I want to go back to the beginning. You charging this man with capital murder, but you have no fingerprint evidence on this gun. Where's the gun?
That
Where's proof of GSR, gunshot residue on his clothing, his arms, his hands? Where's the proof?
And who do the gun belong to? Or is it something you don't need to answer? Don't answer.
All of that.
it's a lot of stuff.
Wait, Miss P, you need a minute? You need a minute, Miss P?
No,
It's
um,
pissing me off.
it's a lot of people gonna say different things. And you'll hear a lot of different stories, and you don't know which one to believe.
Right.
But like I said, it's a video camera out there, and they should have video footage of these men attacking my son before one of them was killed. But from the street stories, from what I've heard, they're saying my son is not the person that shot him. It was the other guy,
Well, your friend
and
ain't gonna rat. He ain't gonna
I
rat. He
I
gonna
don't
pay
know.
that
I
check.
don't know. I can't say that's true, but maybe it was more than one person out there shooting at night. It was three people there.
He need to
Were
be in trouble.
any
He
were
need to
any
go to
of the
prison.
officers involved on duty at this time of the alleged shooting?
The other man may have been a part of the force or something like that because they're trying to hide his identity.
Hmm.
You have a right to see your accuser, though. So all that's gonna
Right.
be in the discovery. All that's gonna be in the discovery when he go to trial. Do you know if any officers present were on the clock?
I don't know.
Nobody had a body camera or nothing like that.
Not at this event, but at a previous event, like I said, I was telling the lawyer, it was supposed to be in earlier last year. It was supposed to be in a homosexual police party. Well, not just police party, but police officers with their in uniform. And I also said, well, that video should still be in his phone because it did make make it through our community, but I didn't receive it, but I was told about it. So
That's
this
that
it's
was
it's
they got
been
you shut
going
that.
on, but people did not say anything.
So when
How,
the police were called to the scene and they arrived, their body cameras were on, right?
I do not know. They're not telling me any of that. And I expected when I wrote that letter to the chief of police, I said to myself, if he's a man that's right and he's for justice, maybe he'll do the right thing and get the people off the force that he knows that are not trying to protect and serve. They're trying to serve themselves.
You see
But
that,
because he didn't reach back out to me, I guess he's trying to cover himself because if he let this go on, then they gonna probably try to hold him accountable. But still, it's not too late to do the right thing.
but
It may have been going on. They may have been getting away. You may have known about it, but it still wasn't too late to do the right thing.
right. You think that he might get caught up in it, right?
Well, he can go down too. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody stands for what's right anymore.
Were there more than one Snapchat or conversation?
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge.
So he said that's everything that you say is circumstantial evidence is not gonna hold up in court. Is anybody willing to come and take the stand in your son's defense and or can you even talk about that on here?
Yeah, because nobody wants to. All of the young men that did inbox me, um, I have never told anybody who they specifically was, and nobody they wanted to, tell me that who this man was. He was a homosexual predator, but they didn't want to be publicized in any way to make themselves look homosexual or anything. I know it's hard for women, so I didn't put any pressure on anybody. If I appreciated and thanked them for whatever they told me about their experiences with this man and left it at that.
Was the fake page? Was that do you have screenshots of that as well?
I didn't hear you.
The fake page, do you have screenshots of that as well?
Yes,
The people that are coming forward, are they saying that this is the page and
yes.
you're gonna need them to come to
That
court?
that 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 was sent to me earlier. I mean later. It was just sent to me not too long ago. I guess like earlier this year. But when we had did our interview, this person hadn't reached out to me,
Is there any way
and
they could report that anonymously on your behalf?
I don't know if they want to. You know, I believe if they wanted to and they felt like they wanted to help their point, they would have said something or they would have offered to do it. But most of the men are the young boys. They don't want to be um uh, publicized at
Right.
all, and I
When
respect that because people will treat you differently and think that you was with it. But this man was inboxing several different men. Not only did he inbox my son, he inboxed someone else in my family, and they sent me the screenshot at 2 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning. Yo, what's up?
they got robbed down here, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes,
If I had to do this,
someone
he
else in
didn't
my
inbox the
family.
wrong one. I'm telling you.
In New Orleans,
He
oh
was
yeah,
most
he would have
definitely
been
he
done.
was most definitely a predator. If it's two young boys in my family that you inbox, then what are you doing?
So let me
At
ask you
that
this.
time of the morning,
Let me ask you this, Miss Pete. Do you know if your son was assaulted before the police got there or after they got there?
Before?
So nobody else was arrested?
No,
Nobody got charged for putting their hands on him?
No,
Do you know why? Like,
And
was it
it's
a
I
reported at the
self-inflicted?
I can only
it's
believe
reported
that
at
they're
the
friends.
hospital.
That it had to be another one of them.
Is it reported at the hospital that he was beaten by them?
I went to the hospital to try to get the records. They told me they couldn't release them to me
Oh, come
Your
on,
son,
man.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
after
The
But
a-
your
HIPAA.
son can. Your son
after
could. Your son could give you consent. He can. He could give you power of attorney, and you can go get them.
after
It's
I after they sent me a bill that the bill was in my name and his name was under it for $14,000. Then I went back to the hospital and asked for the records, but you still couldn't give them to me. But you sent me a bill in my
But
name
you
for
send the
fourteen
Mm.
bill
thousand
in my
dollars.
name, though. You send the
You,
bill in my name.
you don't have no problem with me paying 14,000, but I
Yes,
can't get the
indeed.
records, right?
they can't. They legally, your son is an adult, so he has to give consent
Right.
for you to do it. If he gives you consent, then the judge will have to talk to you. You can get whatever you like. You don't have to go through the lawyer. You can go. And if he doesn't, then you go to the lawyer and get those papers subpoenaed. Then he has to give them. You see what I'm saying? It's like I don't understand. Well, I
And do
do
and do your
understand.
son really understand what's going on with all this here? The severity of everything? Do he really understand all of this?
He does. He does now. At first he was um
He should sign you
he was
over
having a
power of
hard time
attorney.
at first, and as time passed, he was able to talk to me and tell me more and more. But um, it's only so much that he could tell me because all of those phone calls are recorded, and they try to use that against you too.
I'm with Peanut. He need to turn all of that over to you so you can get access to whatever you need when you need it because they're gonna keep him limited behind them bars. They're not gonna let him do but so much.
And power of attorney don't that's not nothing legal. That's just him giving you as his mother permission to be all up in his business.
To handle
That's
his legal affairs. Yep.
Right.
You need to the
you can
next
still
time you
keep
talk
your
to him,
woman like that. This don't mean you gonna be his attorney or he gotta that don't mean nothing. That just means that you don't have to go through nobody else. You could go get it yourself because you
Right.
already have power of attorney over him.
yep. Next time you talk to him, y'all need to bring that up. Tell him sign you over power of attorney.
And really, he can write you a letter, and all he have to be with that stamp it or notarize.
Notarized.
He he
Notarized.
he did write the lawyer. I did say that he did write the lawyer. He was in the same he's he's in the same city as the lawyer, and um I went to the lawyer office in January, and then I went another time in probably right at the beginning of March, and
Have you ever
he
met this
told
lawyer
me, he said,
outside
I'm
of
gonna get
court?
up. Huh?
Have you met this lawyer outside of court? Like, have you sat down with him and talked?
Yes, I drove to Montgomery and saw and met with him, and he told me when I went and saw him, it was January the 18th or 17th, somewhere up in there. And the court date was January 22nd. He said, I'm gonna get over there and see your son and get his statement or whatever. He said it won't be before this court date because that court date was coming up that Tuesday, I think. And he said I'm gonna get over there and see and get his statement or whatever. But he didn't go see my son till May. He went and saw my son in May for 5 minutes.
Hmm.
And my son told me that um the reason he came up there was because the people the people the dead man's family said that he gave them a finger in court. He didn't even know where they was sitting at because he couldn't even see all of us
Wait,
This
the
man is
people,
not
the
trying to
people
handle your
gave him
son's
what?
case at
yeah,
all.
at all. That's why you went over there. So he said he talked to him about 5 minutes, and then that he was gonna get back with him, but he hasn't been back to see him.
He ain't because he not trying to handle the case.
But the family are
Have you
really.
asked him, is he experienced enough to handle a capital murder case? Cause he sound inexperienced like a mother. I'm sorry, man, but
He's
he sound like he don't know what he doing.
he's very experienced and well known in Montgomery for what I've been told.
So
He's
why
just
you
not
never heard
helping
of
my
him then?
son. And from what I've heard, he make a lot of pleas to get these people for get them on like a murder charge. They get 5 years. He's well known in Montgomery from what I've heard. And when I got to his office, he said, "I know I ain't been in contact with you, but you heard that I'm a good lawyer?" I said, "Yes, I did hear that, but now that I see you're not helping my son, so you help whoever you want to help, and you make these pleas for these young black men for 5 to 6 years." But from what I've heard, allegedly he make a lot of pleas for the young black men in Montgomery.
Has he ever tried a capital murder case?
Yes,
Has he ever tried a capital murder case against a police officer?
not to my knowledge.
It sounds like he ain't. It sounds like he ain't over his head, and it
I think
sounds like he's getting threatened by not, if not threatened by them, but the standards are being set by
Mhm.
somebody else. I'm gonna say that.
Mhm.
You was about to say something about the family wise?
Oh, they at the at the last at the court date they did bring my son. It was about I guess about 6 or 8 of their family members there. And then I told y'all that the chief of police he went and sat with the family for a moment. But after court it was about 15 of us, me and my children and my sisters and my aunts and people that wanted to support my son. It was about 15 of us. And um, when they brought him out the courtroom and they were putting him in the car, we was screaming and yelling, saying, "We love you. You coming home soon." And the family, we were waiting on him to come downstairs. Those folks, they could have been in their car and gone, but they stood outside by their cars. And as we were screaming and yelling, saying, "We love you, you coming home soon," they got mad and said, "How he coming home soon?" And just it could have been a altercation, but thank God it wasn't. My sister, she spoke up and said, "We didn't say anything to y'all, so what's the problem?" So she cut that off real quick, and I'm glad it didn't escalate. But after we left the courthouse, one of this man aunties or sister drove past my house, and they own some messy stuff, but I
So
hope
they
it don't.
harassing you for real.
I hope it don't go bad at the next court date because we're gonna be back out there, and this time we're gonna have enough shirts. We're gonna have some shirts on so he can recognize who's standing with him.
Listen,
What
And
have they
so
offered?
if they were mad, then they might as well get ready because he gonna see how many of people are with him this time.
Has he
You ever
got an
thought of
offer yet? What have they? I knew capital murder that carries a life sentence. Has he got an offer of like take 15?
manslaughter?
Not to my knowledge, but like I said, the lawyer hasn't called me. I done called him. I done took screenshots of the times that I called him, and I've left messages. I've screenshot that also. Just because somebody told me to make a complaint to the bar against him.
yep.
Um, After I go meet with him this time, then I know if I'm gonna go ahead and make a complaint against him
Has
because
you asked your
it's
have you asked
ridiculous. I didn't hear you.
have you asked your son to give him the have you asked your son
My phone is, I don't know if y'all can hear me clearly, but it's we got bad weather
You
right here in Selma right now, and my
you
phone is going in and out right now.
can say
It's kind of
like
stormy weather outside, and
Son,
my
your
phone's
voice
not
is
picking.
going out in and out to me.
for to
Your voice
handle
is
his
going in and out,
affairs,
son.
talk to you. 9 times out
What you
of ten,
saying,
I ain't gonna.
Peanut?
I
His
guarantee.
voice is
But
going in and
anyway,
out, not hers.
Peanut, you keep
mine.
going in and out.
You going in and out, son.
Oh, okay, that's why I couldn't hear me.
Yeah, it's not you, it's son. Yeah, and I don't know what he was about to ask him though. You ever thought about also with getting character witness, a petition with a bunch of character witness people who know him from young up until now, as well?
With the people I'm dealing with, and I've stood there and talked before this judge myself, they don't want to hear none of that. I just need to get somebody that's gonna fight them.
They may not
Um,
want to hear it, but you do what you got to do. That's your child, and it need open exposure. And once you do all of that, I will do anything in my will to do whatever I need to do.
yes, ma'am. But I have made flyers telling that this man was a homosexual predator. This ain't the first time they did it. They had to have done it and got away with it to felt comfortable to doing it to my son. But I have did flyers and they have been out in Selma, Montgomery. I even had a friend that went to Philadelphia a couple months ago and they gave out some flyers up there. So it's getting wider and wider, so more people are now hearing this story. But I've been trying to bring exposure.
What
I know
about
I
the
gave up,
news people out there?
sir, ma'am.
What about the news people going on the news?
I left a flyer on the news person's car, and I know they got it, but they haven't responded either. One of those flyers I made, I left it on the news person's car. If
Your favorite local PD may have something to do with that.
I believe so, but I don't know if y'all.
Oh man.
Yep.
Now you see what I'm talking about? She put them pictures up, and that ain't no weather. That's why I
Oh,
tapped out. They
Right.
playing with us, man. That ain't no weather. Put the
oh,
thing up, and she tapped. Nah. Give me some water.
That's a lot to deal with.
A whole lot.
God bless her. God bless her.
So we gonna wait till she come back. Um, so I'm not. I don't have no. I just know what I know from being on trial and things like that. For
Right.
one, all right, their rights are getting violated like a mug. Let's start there. For two, this is a mistrial because they know each other personally. You see what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
that's a conflict of interest. You have a motive to not judge this or defend this client in a fair way because of your relationship with the other people. And I
So what?
think that the chief of police that keep coming, like if you support somebody, who you can do that. But when you hold a level like that, that's kind of showing favoritism. And when you showing favoritism and something like that, what else are you showing favoritism to? What else have you? What else? Lifeline have you cut off from these people, or have the lawyer been contacted on some? Like it's no, in my opinion, it's no way Ladaddy could get a fair trial where he at.
He
Not
can't
no
get a
Nope.
way.
fair trial. But son, would they
Not
call
at
it a
all.
mistrial if he never went to court yet? He never had a
It's
trial yet.
what you say, man?
I said, would they call it a mistrial if he never had a trial yet? If he
Well,
never.
No, a mistrial meaning throw the charges out because of misconduct, or it's not if it's
conflict of
not
interest.
if it's not a way that they can ensure that his rights are not gonna get violated, then they gonna have to start the process all over. It's gonna have to be a new jury selection. It's gonna have to be a new judge. He's gonna have to get a new public defender. So they don't want to do that either. But that's what you're gonna have to do, because to me personally, I'd have been like, first of all, I would have gave permission for my mama to handle my affairs. Let's start there.
Power of attorney.
That's one. Power of attorney. My mama would, you know what I'm saying? My mama would be doing this because he cannot adequately defend this defendant with having personal relationships with almost everybody that's on the for the prosecution. He can't do that. And then how is his schedule? You see what I'm saying? Does he have the time to defend somebody for capital murder? You see what I'm saying? Does he have the adequate skills to defend somebody for capital murder? Like, what's his credentials? What's his credentials? You see what I'm saying? You got a lot of other people, but this dealing with the people. You see what I'm saying? This on a whole different. Or you prepared to take the state to trial over one of their boys. You see what I'm saying? Or you prepared, or do you have the experience to take the state to trial, knowing they're gonna throw everything at you because this is a police officer? If you don't, you need to step down. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know why it's not more black, and I'm not saying, but black taking on this thing pro bono. Like, I don't. It's just a lot of what ifs and
I think it just need more. It need more exposure than what it's getting, because you don't have the money to pay the lawyers that you need. So you need more exposure than what she's receiving, and that's go to bigger organizations that gonna step out for her.
And you know, I'm not trying to minimize Miss Patricia, but it was a time when these type of things didn't happen, so the higher the exposure, because there wasn't that many, and so many people was ready to take something on. Right now, there are the number has increased of these type of situations, and really the good people, the people who have the power and the push and the pull, they are bombarded and got so many. You know who I'm talking about, like the Ben Crumps and all of them. This has become I don't want to say I don't want to minimize it, but it has become
epidemic.
You're right. Thank you. It has become an epidemic to the point that the good ones, you know, unless it bubbles up in some form or fashion, and let's pray for that it bubbles up.
Yep, it needs to overflow. It needs to overflow.
That it bubbles up through this network, and somebody grasp a hold to it and get a breakthrough.
Yep, it needs to overflow.
Were they in the off-duty police on the scene at the time? You see what I'm saying? Because
and then all of this time later, and still no body cam footage to the public.
That's what I'm saying.
All this time later.
When was he assaulted? I wanted to know that. You see what I'm saying? Who assaulted him? Did the police assault him? Did the people? Because if they was jumping him, then I'm saying stand your ground. Alabama is a stand your ground state. I'm
sure is.
They jumped him. I'm saying self-defense. Now he might gotta take his charge for that gun, but that body was self-defense.
Self-defense. Not only that. Why was his clothes off while he was handcuffed? What did y'all do to this man? What did y'all do to him?
Yeah, that me. But y'all,
what was you doing to him? Ain't no way in the world this man clothes supposed to be off. You see what I'm saying? I don't care. Or what was you trying to do to him? Because if you was beating him, ain't no way you was beating him to the point you was knocking his clothes off.
Nah.
So stop eating that watermelon.
This right here. This smells like a whole setup, bro, from the start to me. I swear in my spirit, it sounds like this evidence technician had it out for this young lady's son, bro. He had something. He had something personal against this boy, and he lured this young man. That's what it sounds like to me.
had a shiny fucking ass too.
You
Respectfully.
catfished this man
My
like he
bad,
was a
man. I'm
whole
sorry, man.
female. You catfish him like he was a whole female. Then he tell you, take me home, and you refuse to take him home. Then you lead him down this dark road and try to handle this man. I would have popped you in your dome. Me, you wouldn't have had time to call nobody.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, probable cause for self-defense, y'all, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. The man that disrespected your manhood, he coming at you. You know what I'm saying? It's more people, so he's outnumbered. I had to pull it out, try to up on him.
Thank you. I would have left all their brains on the floor.
That's what
Me.
I'm saying. He's outnumbered. It's 2 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? He knows, man. Come on, man. You done sent me a picture. You know, you first of all, you supposed to be a woman. I get you. It's a sausage party. Let's start there. You see what I'm saying? And then it's like this. Where are my clothes? Y'all tripping. It's more y'all than what happened before the police got there, and then
Before
what
the
happened
police
when
got
the
there.
police got there.
And I know the once you review or the mom gets to view that medical report, if you can look up all kind of medications and whatever they done, you can put together what kind of injuries he had by what they
Yep.
did in the hospital.
Yep. Just based on what they gave him in the hospital. You sure right.
Yeah.
And my thing about that, I'm glad you brought that up. How in the hell you don't want to give me the records to my son, but you send me a bill?
Power of attorney.
But did you hear what she said? Her name was on top.
That's why I said that. She said her name was on top of the bill. His name was underneath. Why'd you even have my name on the bill if you aren't giving me the records? Long before you sent me the bill, I asked you for the records. You claim you can't give them to me because he's of age. But you send me a bill and he's of age.
If she had power of attorney, this wouldn't be a problem.
I agree. But she may not have known, or she's so distraught right now, it just didn't cross her mind.
You know,
I'ma tell
I
you
can't
this,
even
right?
imagine.
From being the son, right? You're not gonna tell your mama what you really up against. You're not gonna tell your mama what's really going on in that jail. You're not gonna tell your mama what you really facing. So that's why he probably never did it anyway, because she gonna find out what's really going. Oh no, it's like he don't want to stress his mom out. But I'm not saying he keeping stuff from her, but it's clear that he don't want to stress her out more.
It's something he don't want to tell her. Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead, Miss Reggie.
This
I
crazy.
mean, I'm just saying, I applaud her strength, and I know personally she's not the only one going through this, because I know of 2 other
Indeed.
out the
This is going on right now as we speak in some other black mothers' homes somewhere in America.
Yeah.
And you know that's really the sad part, yeah. Right now as we speak, it's multiple mothers of color out here right now going through what she's going through. We just ain't heard about it.
If you remember, I know OG and Miss Dorothy Peanut. He's into music, so he might know it. You remember the old adage back in the day? Strange fruit hanging from the
Strange fruit hanging from the poplar tree. Yep.
I'm gonna tell you this, right?
It's just different.
And we got a whole lot of strange fruit going on right now.
If the dude's watching, right, that's coming to her behind the scenes, right? If y'all don't know, until you go up and sit on that stand, all of this is circumstantial evidence. Everything is he say, she say. The DA gonna eat that up. Trust me, they gonna eat that up. If nothing is questioned, right, and you don't have to worry about what people think, who, if it's only one thing. He went at you and you refused. Now, you not wanting to come up, you might think that's snitching. No, it's not. That is not snitching. Y'all, these days, y'all seem to have snitching, you know what I'm saying, mixed up with being a fucking my bad, man, being a human. You see what I'm saying? If this man has came at you, right, but you told his mama behind the scenes, that's called circumstantial evidence that will not stand up in court. What you have to do is go hit that stand and go say what that man did you.
And say what that man done you.
Yeah, if he did you something, then you need to say that.
That's not snitching. That's giving evidence for the jury to see.
And there's a lot of reasonable doubts up in here.
And that's what
because right now, we're just being on some he say, she say. This young man don't stand no chance against no police.
This man life on the line. You hear me? Like,
none whatsoever.
Now, it's not snitching. So the only other reason that you would not want to come forward is because
you was with the whoop.
Yeah, you went with the whoop. You went with the move.
You went with the whoop, and you didn't want to get busted.
That's cool too. Do what you do, but people need to know that man contacted you off of that page. People need to know that you did go with the move. You see what I'm saying? And you know you did what you did on your own accounts. But this man has really been targeting a certain age group. He has a type. You see what I'm saying? And it's been going on. No, this is not the first, second, or third time. I know this one happened to it. Happened to this one. It happened to me. It happened. Woo-de-woo. That's what needs to be going on right now.
And your lawyer be pulling all of that if you was the right kind of lawyer.
Yeah, she had the right kind of lawyer. He have all of that right now.
We ain't got time for that right now. Right. Your homie life on the line. It ain't looking too good.
Right.
It ain't looking too good.
Not at all, bro.
Evidence and all that. Y'all need to put your feet down and your nuts on the concrete and go get your dude, your homie locked up right now. And y'all could get him out. You need to get your homie out of jail. Stop all that street nonsense or woo-de-woo. This ain't time for that.
Because if it was one of y'all would want that man to do the same for y'all.
Y'all acting like from the hole. I want him. My bad, man. Y'all acting like from the hole. Y'all don't want people to think. Well, what the nigga gonna think? What the nigga got to think if there ain't nothing happening? You see what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, y'all doing that bad. If it was me and my people would have came see about y'all. And that's all I'm gonna see. That's all I'm gonna see.
Well, I applaud her strength, her other children, all the family that's supporting her as she go through a journey. And unfortunately, she's become a part of another mother's club.
And law enforcement ain't making it no easy for this woman. Every time she go to the courtroom, she looking at y'all going over here supporting these folks' family.
And I need to know, since he's law enforcement, at what point did law enforcement get involved in this incident? You see what I'm saying? How long were there any police already on the scene? The police that came on the scene, were they all on the clock? Did everybody? It's so many things that not being.
Man, I ain't even think about that. They could have been off-duty officers that went there just to help because he shot an officer.
Right. Was everybody in uniform? Could
that makes sense.
Who was the officer and who wasn't? Who collected the evidence? What relationship did the people who collected the evidence have with this?
With the victim.
That's what I'm saying. That's a conflict of interest. That's a technicality. That's pissing me off. You see what I'm saying?
Look like it needs to be moved. The trial needs to be moved to another state.
And dude, it's no way with this man being a police and it's no way this man can have an adequate trial that goes along with his rights for there's no way. The motion, me being on trial, the motions that I know that this lawyer should have been filed have not been filed. This lawyer is not doing his job.
Right.
At all.
Ain't even trying to go. He ain't even trying to build no case.
know I'm a good lawyer. No, I don't know you a good
No,
lawyer.
you
Nigga,
ain't a
show
good
me.
lawyer.
I don't care what nobody else say. Show me. You ain't showing. I don't even know you. You ain't showing me, homie.
You ain't lying
I done had some good lawyers. I know what a good lawyer is. You not one of them. So that's
at all, bro. Not at all.
At all.
Y'all can see the
So,
comments on there. Y'all done made a comment that's very interesting.
This needs,
I
man.
don't think she gonna pop back on here, y'all. You know what I'm
No, I
saying?
don't think so neither.
But it was funny that as soon as she held up that paper, you know what I'm saying?
They cut her off. She went,
Right.
yep. I find that real funny, bro. Soon as she held that paper up there, boom.
But like
And
y'all
she
can
ain't been
say,
back
it
yet.
be going to the Supreme Court.
I don't think if I'm gonna tell you, this is just off my opinion from being a defendant, right?
I really wish her story
Going
went
out like
viral, bro.
that now,
Her
this shit
story
gonna
need to
take
go
it to the
viral.
Supreme Court. He gonna have the man. Look,
She
it's
need help, bro. She
Anything is
really
possible with
need.
God. Anything is possible with God.
That's
He
what I'm about to say.
can
She
turn this
really
thing
need the
around.
hand of God right now.
yeah, but at the same time, it's still a procedure that you have to go through on earth.
Right.
And you got to do it the right way. You see what I'm saying? This is not being done to our knowledge. Because like
Right.
she said, nobody could talk to her legally because her son is of age until he give them permission. You see what I'm saying? So this is just all opinion. From my opinion, off of her opinions, it ain't looking too good for the daddy, dog. You know what I'm saying? Just off of the fact that they playing, and I'm not talking about the family. I'm talking about everybody else. Them
Right.
people ain't playing with homie.
Right.
Nope.
They're serious. They done charged him with capital murder. I don't even see what the
Capital.
means of
Capital
charging him
murder.
with capital murder
They want
is.
to kill
When
him.
clearly he was lured out there. Clearly
Yep.
he was outnumbered, and clearly they put their hands on this man. So
Yep.
how is this man charged with
And now you
capital
want
murder and
and
this man
now
was
you want
standing
to
up
give him
against him in
capital
the
murder.
corner? I'm gonna say he had his back in the he had his back in. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I'm
Yeah.
And be
acting like
mindful.
for real, like this, like
Be,
cuz
mi- be
this that man life, like you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
And be
No, they
mindful
ain't trying to know the capital murder. That mean they want to kill him. They won't give him. They want to
That's what
take
I'm.
his life.
And then look, I don't know about Alabama, but down here they just added a whole lot of stuff to that.
all right, for real.
And the death penalty, and they're waiting to you. I don't know how it is out there, but down here they waiting to fry a nigga. I'm telling you.
Yeah, capital murder here mean death penalty.
And that was a police officer that is eligible for the death penalty. This is
They
capital
want to
murder.
take it. They
It
want
is
to
a
take this young
minimum.
man's life before it even gets started, bro.
Exactly. It is a minimum, and it's a height to what they can charge you. By this being capital murder, and then if they could prove that he planned this, man, come on, man, they're gonna
And then
find out.
look how quick they put it out there.
Cause
They ain't put it
y'all
out.
never heard about this.
Huh?
Y'all didn't know this was
No,
going
I'm saying when I went to YouTube today to do some research, seemed like soon as they arrested him, that's the charge I put out there in the news.
But this is what I'm saying, right?
Capital murder.
Who was on the scene to collect the evidence that either proved him guilty or proves him innocent? Like, what evidence do you have to charge this man with
That's what I was
capital
saying
murder?
earlier. Where's the evidence? Where's the gun? All of
I
that.
don't see
Where's the
no
bullet?
planning. I don't see
Where's
no
the gun?
planning. Where the robbery come in at?
Where the robbery come in
Let's
at?
start there. Where did the robbery? This man ain't, to me, he ain't have all his clothes on. Lil Daddy the one that got robbed. You understand?
Right.
Lil
He
Daddy the
got
one
robbed of
that
something.
Lil Daddy should be sued, not on trial. From what I'm
Right.
hearing, that's like I'm saying. Everything is circumstantial. Everything is he say, she say. But from what I'm hearing, it should be Lil Daddy in the driver's seat, not the state of Alabama.
Thank you. They
That's
done
all I got to
railroaded
say.
that man, bro. They done already put him in the grave. And he
Exactly.
ain't even went to trial yet.
How it's going, they gonna succeed. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Especially if the daddy people don't come speak up. Like, what you got to hide? How you think people gonna think that I was with it? How? If you standing on business, if you are who you say you are, right? This should nobody be saying that. Now, if you got a little fairy dust or whatever, then that's
That's on
you.
you.
You
That's
went
on
with the
you.
move. But at the same time, you should have kept your mouth closed and not went ran your mouth to this dude mama. And now you done left her all alone in that water with her son, and you sitting there with the stick that I'm sorry, man, that's gonna free him, and you talking about you worried about what people gonna think about you. Man, boy, I'm baffled.
And be mindful that, I mean, the deceased has family members. They love him, so they're gonna be supportive to him. And my condolences, because everything is
Oh,
circumstances.
man.
I don't know who's right, who's wrong, but from what we hearing from her, we would say that it was self defense. But we not that, we don't really know. But he gonna have his family coming there because they're supported. Because no matter what, I love my loved one. So if those people love this guy that's locked up like they say they love him, or any kind of love for him, they need to step up. They need to step up to the
And,
plate.
and you know what? Was he openly, whoopty woo? Was he
Right,
behind the scenes and whoop that? You know what I'm saying? And then to be inboxing people on something that could leave a trail,
right.
that don't sit right with me. You see what I'm
No, it
saying?
don't. It don't. It really
No,
don't.
yeah, you work for a bureau of justice. So if another bureau of the justice, that's a trail. That's a trail. So that's what I'm saying. Did y'all lure that man out there so what happened to him happened to him? That's what I'm thinking.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. Like it was a setup and they ain't know the daddy was strapped. That's what I'm thinking. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
I
All
don't think
right.
he's coming back to the live though.
I got to get out of here.
Yeah. Let's close the prep.
Woo, man. Oh, God. Lord, we thank you for another hour. Um, I truly pray that you intervene in this situation and
Yeah, yeah.
lead and guide this sister in the direction she needs to go. Place a hedge of protection around her son. Keep them mentally and emotionally as sane as you possibly can during this season, Lord. Bring them out of this dark season into your light, and being a God of provision, being a God who is undisputed and never lost a case.
Yes.
We ask of you to advocate on her behalf, and you be the judge and the lawyer in this young man's case, Father, and bring him the justice that he rightly deserves. In so many other mothers like her whose sons are in this very same situation. We pray this prayer on their behalf too. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you for being with us in the 24/7 grind on another dope segment, Hours with the Elders, where we bridge the gap of information, experience, and wisdom, dropping gems and jewels for those who are committed to making a difference in their communities.